Hello everybody, how are you today? Today we're going to do a work of art based on Escher's symmetry tessellation. Tessellations are really fun. Tessellations have been around for a long time, and you can see them in floor patterns. You can see tessellations just all over the place. So they look a lot more complicated than they actually are. So I'm going to show you some tessellations that have been done by students in previous classes. Here's a tessellation that you can see that the lines are still evident. The grid lines are still evident. Some people like those grid lines, some people take them out. But this is the actual tessellation. So a tessellation is just taking a square and modifying it. Here's another tessellation that isn't a repeating pattern tessellation, but that's just another way to handle it. I don't have too many samples here of repeating patterns, but here is another tessellation. Usually tessellations would be repeating patterns, but these are just taking tessellations and making them totally original. So what you're going to need for this project is you're going to need a sheet from your multimedia pack, 9 by 12, and you're going to want to take this sheet and you're going to grid it in 3 by 3 inch squares. So you'll want to do that. And when you measure these 3 by 3 inch squares, you want to make sure that they really are square. So take your time into when you do that. The next thing that you need, I'm going to set this aside. I'm just going to put it over here. The next thing that you need is a piece of, this is just a piece of, just a piece from a pad that was 3 by 5. It's a 3 by 5 card that I've just cut it to be a 3 by 3 inch square. Now it's important that this is a 3 by 3 inch square because it has to fit in this grid box. So the way that you do that is, there are different kinds of tessellations, but we're going to make a simple tessellation. I've got watercolor on my finger, so please forgive. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to draw any kind of organic shape. It's not necessarily a geometric shape, but an organic shape. And an organic shape is just any shape that's irregular. The thing that you want to know, or you really want to watch with your organic shape, is that it goes through this corner and it goes through that corner. So that is step number 1. You'll need a pair of scissors and you'll also need some tape. Okay, so step number 2 is just go ahead and cut out on the line of your shape. Just cut it out. And it doesn't even matter if you cut it out exactly on the line or just a little bit off, because we're just going to get just an organic shape tessellation. So notice that this piece comes right out of here. So we're going to take this piece and we're going to add it to the back side of the square. Now you want to make sure that your corners are lined up perfectly, and you want to take your piece of tape and you want to tape this together like that. Okay? So next step is, again, it doesn't matter if you use this edge or if you use this edge. Doesn't matter. But I'm going to use the top edge. So you want to draw again through the center, and then you want to draw an organic shape, and then through this corner, again, right through the corner. Make sure it's through the corner. If it's not through the corner, it's not going to work exactly right. So then again, you want to cut this out. Now Escher got really good at making tessellations, and so that's why he's able to make lizards and birds and all that sort of thing. But and then also what you can do when you make your tessellation is you look at it and then you see if you can see something in it, and then you can create a tessellation where it turns into something. So again, I just took this piece from here and I brought it right down Don't flip it or anything like that, and just put it, tape it to the bottom, and then tape it on here. If you flip these around, you might have some problem. Okay, so that is how you make your shape. Now you go to your grid. You just go to your gridded piece of paper like this. Let me move this out of the way. Now, the secret is to fold this edge up and to fold this edge in. Then you I start in the middle because I like to start in the middle with lots of things. So I start in the middle here too. So these edges are folded up. So now what I want to do is fold them open, open. Then I want to take my pencil and very carefully I want to trace around my tessellation. You want to really make sure that you're lined up with that line, with the grid lines. Now, some people like to erase the grid lines, and some people don't. It's up to you. You get to decide what you want to do. So there is my first tessellation. So then I take my second tessellation, and it should fit right in that first tessellation, and again, making sure that it's on the line, and you might have to fudge just ever so slightly. If you are off at all, just fudge it ever so slightly, but line up these lines with the grid line. That is really the most important part of all. So then you go ahead and you trace around it again like this until you cover the whole piece of paper with your tessellation, and just keep going and just look and see where does it fit, and then you add it, and so on and so forth. I'm going to do this one, and this one goes off the paper so you don't have to draw the bottom half, and this one comes here like this, and then this one goes in here, and now I have 4 tessellations, and then I can just finish them. I just finish them out. And so just keep going. Now, some people erase these, and then you can look at this and you can say, oh, what do I see in this? And I can say, oh, I see this face. Here is his nostril. Here is his eye. Here's his mouth. And here is his beard. And then maybe here is the top of his head, or maybe there's his hat. And I can add a few lines, and then I can keep doing that over and over and over again until I'm done. Then I go in with my colored pencil, and I can create texture. This one is heavy on texture, and I can do that if I want to. I can use a repeating color scheme like this one. This one just looks like a leaf, and maybe what you could do with this to add is you could take some lines here and add some lines so that we know that it's a leaf, and then you keep doing that with every one, and then you finish out your tessellation that way, and then you know that it's an autumn leaf. You can trace around your lines, your outlines like this, and there you have your autumn leaves. And so that is basically how you do a tessellation. It's really quite mathematical, but it's quite fun, and it's working with a stencil again, and it's all reminiscent of the artwork of M.C. Escher. Thank you for your attention, and good luck with this project. If you have questions, you can always email me or you can post your questions to the discussion board.